graph y equals log base 4 of x, you will have to know how to graph any log directly. So, now, for this first one, we're going to think, and after you get good at, you won't think this in the future, but it's really helpful. Logs are inverses of exponential functions. So if I want to graph a log of base 4, I can think of my exponential graph of 4 to the x, which has the key points of 0, 1, 1, 4, and an asymptote at y equals 0. If I have that, and I know that logarithms are inverses of exponential functions, when we graphed inverses in our first chapter, what happened to the coordinates? They got switched, right? So if I had 0, 1 on my log graph, I'm going to have 1, 0. And if I have 1, 4 on my log graph, I'm going to have 4, 1. And if I have an asymptote at y equals 0, all the x's and all the y's get switched, so that I switch that y to an x. And it becomes an asymptote at x equals 0. And what you're going to remember, because probably you're not going to think the blue part first. You're going to get to a certain point when you graph logarithms, you're going to immediately go to the base graph, the parent graph like this. So every single logarithmic graph, without any transformations, is going to have 1, 0. And whatever the base is, it's going to have the base, 1. So we're going to have 1, 0, the base, 1, and an asymptote at x equals 0. And of course, we're going to do all of our transformations with these as well from chapter 3. Move it left, right, stretch it, reflect it, all of that kind of stuff. But you're going to need to be able to say, you could give me any base, and I could graph a log graph right away. So one of the things that we did in chapter 3 is we started developing, we kind of memorized them, but you could always build it from table of values. Like, what's the shape of a square root graph? I say a square root graph, and you have a picture right now already in your head, because we've done so many of them. If I say, what does an x cubed graph look like? You have a picture in your head. What does a parabola look like? What does a straight line look like? You might even laugh at straight line, but there was a time in your life that you had no idea what the graph of a straight line looked like. But it seems so intuitive now. So we need to do that with logs. You're going to have to know, this is what a log graph looks like. It has an asymptote. It approaches the asymptote and always goes through 1, 0 and the base, 1. So now we can, on this green graph, does it have any intercepts? Yes, it has an x-intercept at 1, 0. It has no y-intercepts. Does it have an equation of asymptote? We've already labeled the equation of the asymptote. It's at x equals 0. The domain, your x values are bigger than 0, and your range is everything. Circle questions 10 and 11.